Welcome to the AmeriLife Marketing Mentors Podcast. My name is David Belleville.
And I'm Joe Barker.
And today we are talking about how AI has revolutionized the marketing landscape, and in particular, how consumer behaviors are really being impacted by the rise of AI. But Joe, you do this better than anybody else. Can you set the stage for us and kind of walk us through how we've got to where we are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is and you're right, it's one of the favorite things that I love to talk about. I always like to kind of set the pace or set the tone for how we got to where we are by kind of taking a walk through history. So for this one, I'm going to take it all the way back to really when we went offline to online and really when the World Wide Web was introduced. So we're going to go all the way back to 1995. This is really when you started to see people change their behavior from going offline to online. This is when it didn't all happen right away. It wasn't all in 1995. It took about 10 years for people to adapt to that. Next up, so we got used to being online and we started utilizing those message boards in those different areas. Well, next up was in 2005, we had Google hit. All of a sudden, the word "just Google it" came out. Actually, I find it funny, and I have to share this. I thought you were about to.
I was going to make sure you didn't gloss over that.
Yeah. So, and I just think it's funny trivia. So, in case you ever play trivia, if they ever ask you what the original name of Google was, it was Backrub. And could you imagine, I joke about it, could you imagine just saying, just backrub it? But the reason that it was named that is because of all of the backlinks and the way that it does the sorting, it was thinking about the backlinks. And so that's why it was named that, was backrub. It was actually a misspelling, so they realized it probably wasn't the perfect name. So they came up with a version of Google. Yeah, and then they ended up, actually, it was a misspelling of how they got to the final name of Google and the way that it's spelled today. So it was pretty interesting. But really, that's when 2005 is that time frame when everybody got to that point of just Google it. Everybody started researching. Everybody started looking things up. And you really started to see us get used to having to go in there and search and find things on our own.
So it's reasonable to say that this is also where SEO started.
100%.
Because it now, here we are all these years later, and SEO is still important. We'll get into some other strategies as well.
Yes.
So this is the dawn of SEO as well.
Yes, absolutely. This is when everybody started to realize that keywords came into ranking. And this is when we started to realize how we could set up the websites and everything behind the scenes to be able to rank on Google. I mean, it was a joke for years that if you want your business to, or if a business is going to go under, it's probably on page 2 or below on Google, because everybody wants page 2 or page 1 of Google.
So we saw that major shift with the internet and then Google. What's next? The smartphone revolution is what we call it.
This is the big one. So this is really, in my opinion, it was the last biggest shift we've had that is the size of the shift we're in right now. This is where you started to see people really go from desktop to mobile.
Yeah.
And so everything, we were constantly able to search anything at any time. It was all in the palm of our hands. It's kind of amazing thinking back that we ever had to go to a computer and go sit down and go look it up. Because right now, we're just used to that instant access.
I always think about before cell phones and smartphones, what if you broke down somewhere?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you have?
What did you do?
You have to walk to a gas station or
so
something
funny.
like that. So
you had to use a map, actual map that you had to learn how to refold at the end of it. I mean, that's where we were at that point in time. But yeah, I mean, it was a big shift. But think about it also from a website perspective is we had to build websites originally for that desktop, and now we have to change it, and everything became mobile first. And we really started to see those mobile pages really take over. Again, that was in 2007 that the mobile phone and the iPhone and all the smartphones started to come out.
Yeah.
It still took many years before people got their first phones. You still had the flip phones, the BlackBerries, all of those in play back then.
I was in college when I first got my first smartphone, and now you've got kids.
Yeah.
You've got elementary school students with them. So, I mean, that just speaks to how mainstream the smartphone has become.
And where we're headed,
You almost can't operate anymore without a smartphone.
It's expected now that you have one.
Right.
If I turn off my phone for a day or two and they're like, Joe, where have you been? And it's oh my gosh, what a concept that I actually turned off my phone and didn't answer for a day or two. When, before that, you're right. It was different times, but that's how quickly our behaviors adjusted.
Yeah. And the practices, not even just consumer behavior, but you just mentioned it. Everything was optimized for desktop.
Yep.
Now you're on a small rectangular device. How you think about the visuals of your content totally changed everything.
Yep, absolutely. And then not far behind that one. So now, we've gotten to this point where now we're mobile first. We're on our cell phones all the time. This is really what came next was that social media era. So this is where you started to see this shift from people searching to now we're scrolling. And now, brands really had to shift. We had to switch in marketing and advertising to get in front of people. Now we're drumming up interest and we're trying to grab their attention as they're spending 3 hours a day on social media. And that was another big shift. So all of a sudden, the time spent researching or doing business, now it became entertainment. Now it became scrolling. And that was a big shift for us. And that was around 2009. Again, it didn't happen immediately. You had things like MySpace before that, but MySpace really was just getting us used to putting our information online.
Sure.
Didn't change huge behaviors like Facebook and all of them did years later.
When I think about MySpace compared to Facebook, and this feels like such a blast in the past to be talking about MySpace, but I feel like MySpace walked so Facebook could run.
Oh, yeah.
But Facebook really was the catalyst for all future social media platforms, at which there are so many now.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Truly, in this era that we were talking about, to your point, there was a time frame where there was maybe one or two prominent social media platforms that everybody was on. So it's fascinating to think that in not that long amount of time, so much has evolved since then.
Yeah, and you see people, even from your traditional platforms as Twitter or X, and now you have Instagram Threads, and everybody's all the platforms are diversifying, and they're all trying to get in each other's mix and trying to garner that attention. I mean, even on LinkedIn, now you can go live on LinkedIn, and now you can have it's just everybody's adapting and trying to figure out how do you get people to spend more time on your platform? Because that's really what they're looking for. And that's where you see the algorithm switch and you see all these changes happen. But that social media era, again, it started in about 2009, but it took a lot of years for that to get implemented. And so that was kind of that shift, though, where we started to really move into that scrolling.